Hey, welcome back to the Regular People's Podcast. My name is Tapelo Mere, and it's another episode in the middle of nowhere. Yo, guys, I lost the entire podcast. I'm actually re-recording this. But it happens. Technical issues. We are back though. I missed doing this. I missed spending time in front of the camera talking. I haven't done this in a while. Moving around can be so tiring. How was everyone's weekend? I had a good weekend. And how's everyone in general? Are you guys doing well? And please, before we proceed any further, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. This is not going to be a very long podcast, but we have a couple of stories that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Zulu King coronation, whatever it's called. And we're also going to touch on Moneoa situation. Moneoa is going through a very difficult situation right now. And other various news. So please sit back and enjoy. If you are not subscribed, like I said, please subscribe to the video. And watch all the content that's already recorded on the podcast. That is very much appreciated. So let's get into the Moneoa story. Moneoa story, honestly, it's a very sad one. It's always sad when you see such stories, man. It's extremely sad. I mean, for anyone who knows Moneoa, she's a fucking queen. More Than You is about whatever song you can think of, man. She's a talented young woman whom has made very, very good music that we all enjoy. Music that has carried us through difficult times. I mean, I was actually in the morning watching a little bit of the podcast, or rather the episode of one of Saul's morning show on, was it Kaya FM? Where Saul was describing how More Than You carried him through some certain situations. And I was like, yo, these singers really do actually carry us, with their music. And she's so talented as a songwriter, as a singer, man. She is one of the best. But, sometimes we forget that these people are just like us. They go through challenges. They go through a lot of shit that we might not know of. And honestly, she kept her life very far from, the public. And we just found out about some very, very unfortunate news that Moneoa has been in a very abusive relationship with Piwe Mapanga, allegedly. That's what she is alleging. So Moneoa, actually, I didn't even know Moneoa's boyfriend or husband. I didn't know anything about her love life. But she decided to go on Instagram Live and just air everything out, man. And she described very traumatic situations. Firstly, she was being physically abused the entire time they were in a relationship. She posted pictures of her with like black eye and stuff, but this one went above just physical and psychological abuse. This one was also very much financial abuse, where Moneoa has lost literally all her life savings, or all the things that she had accumulated. She lost them. I mean, she said she lost, at least when it comes to her belongings, over 500,000 of a situation that I will describe to you what happened. She lost her car. She literally, imagine like working so hard, making so much. I'm sure she was making a bit of money at some point as an artist, and then having to lose it all. I mean, I think she had, because I think like as an artist you make so much money that maybe when you get into when you're 10 years into the industry, you never have to work again. I think she was almost there. But then this guy just fucking pissed it all away, man. And it was a little triggering watching that. It was really triggering watching her describe her abusive situation. So, according to her, this relationship, like I've already said, was abusive. And over and above that, the financial situation was really, really bad. So he met this guy, Piwe Mapanga, the kind of businessman type, I guess this guy is. And this guy started with his scams, I guess. Firstly, it was with a Range Rover. Moneoa was driving a BMW, and then this guy took the BMW. I think he crashed it or something. And then Moneoa said, bring back the car. He never did. And then, as these scammers always do, surprise Moneoa with a brand new Range Rover. on her name, and also, but nah, I'll pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. It's your car. But he puts Moneoa's banking details. Pays for it for like 2 months, and then he stops, and then the bank takes from Moneoa's, rather the bank keeps deleting Moneoa's account. She's not aware. I guess when you make so much money, you don't really check your bank, up to a point where now the bank doesn't have a lot of money, her bank account doesn't have a lot of money, and she just gets surprised one day when her rent cannot go through, and it doesn't go through for a couple of months. But clearly she maybe didn't recognize or didn't realize up until she got evicted out of her apartment as a result of non-payment of rent. So that happens, he get evicted, he goes to live with her aunt for some time. But Moneoa, for whatever reason, trusted this guy to take care of all the furniture in the house, to pay for a storage unit, to put up all your things. I mean, Moneoa described like the things that she had, a 30,000 rand fridge, like, I mean, she said total lost like 500,000 of just all her belongings, her clothes, and some of the very sentimental things that she had, because she couldn't take the furniture with her because the apartment that she was going to was small and was already furnished. So what happened was this guy said, I'll pay for a storage unit, you can put your things in there. But this guy stopped paying for the storage unit, and then the storage unit sold everything that Moneoa had in there, and then they just moved on with that. I mean, Moneoa alleges that around 7,000 rand was owed, and she was like, I could have literally paid the 7,000 if I knew there was a problem like that. But yeah, that's Moneoa's story, guys. Just sad. And I mean, this kind of like makes you, honestly, it doesn't matter like who you are, but we are all human beings, and I do not in any way claim to be perfect. I've been in situations where I didn't act right. But I think when you see situations like this, man, we need to start treating each other better, just as lovers, as friends, as family members. We really need to be there for each other. Even if we are not there for each other, fine, but can we just treat each other like human beings and not animal? I mean, I don't think that's something that's hard to ask, just treat every human being with just a little bit of decency. That's all. You don't have to favor them, you don't have to love them, but the treatment has to at least be decent. At the very least. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story. It's a very painful one, and just watching her on that live, you could hear the emotions, you can hear the pain in her voice. And she kept it together for like an hour. It was like an hour long live, and you can find it on YouTube now. People have reposted it, but I just thought I could go ahead and then update you guys on that story. But a lot of things also happened this weekend. We had a coronation. Did they call it a coronation? Yes, a coronation. So, obviously, as you all know, King Zwelithini passed away. So, the Zulu throne has been without a king for a while, and when a king dies or passes on, then there's someone next in line to take over the kingship. And that transition happened this week when Miss Zulu became the new king. So the official coronation happened this week. He had obviously been like the one who was chosen to take over the chair as or rather when obviously eventually the king passes away. So Miss Zulu enters the crowd to secure the Zulu king throne, and this is in the Daily Maverick. King Miss Zulu KwaZulu-Natal claim to the king throne was contested up to the moment he entered the kraal at 11:48 a.m. on Saturday on 20 August at Royal Place in Nangoma in KwaZulu-Natal. Entering the kraal is one of the final ceremonies in crowning the new king. The last one will be when the president recognizes Miss Zulu as the rightful heir, officially hands over a crown certificate of recognition at the ceremony expected to be held in Durban, Moses Mabhida. A date will be announced. Crowning was attended by 1,000 of Amabuto, known as warriors, Izintombi, maidens, and ordinary folk. As well as diplomats, royalty, government officials, and other dignitaries around the world. Celebrities as well as political leaders were there too, including minister in the presidency, suspended ANC Secretary General, Minister Senzo Mtunu Zulu, former Minister of Health Zweli Mkhize, Advocate Dalimpofu, Dudu Myeni, all of them were there. Siboniso Zuma, newly elected ANC KZN provincial chairperson, made a brief speech welcoming Mrs. Zulu to the throne. The presence of thousands of people to see Mrs. Zulu ascend to the throne was one of Africa's biggest and colorful kingdoms, entrenched him as the legitimate Zulu king. So yeah, you can read this article yourself. I just thought I could report on that because it was a very popular thing that happened. But actually, this was contested, as you already know. Some people didn't want Mrs. Zulu to be the king, so there was even an interdict that called to try and stop the event from happening. But I'm only covering this because it's of public interest, at least I think so. But I really don't think we should have kings at all. Like, I think it's such a flawed concept, and I know people are going to be like, you want your Western what? No, that's not what I want. I don't think we should have a queen as well in England. I think that's extremely outdated, primitive, and honestly, it's illogical to have someone being born, and just you being born in a certain family gives you this right or bestows upon you this honor of leading an entire nation. We don't know your qualifications. We don't know your, like, are you even a leader? Like, are you someone who can lead? Do you have plans? You don't have to have any quality, or at least just you being born in a certain family or being born, from a certain kingdom makes you by default a leader of an entire nation. I mean, and honestly, I'm telling you, people still support it, and people still love it. Clearly, I am not one of those people who think we should have kings. I think they are an outdated concept, and I think it's a concept that we shouldn't have at all. And I can give out 1,000 reasons why we shouldn't. I don't think, but I just think when we are choosing someone to lead, there should be at least like some sort of a vetting process that involves almost everyone. Everyone should have at least a chance to be a leader, but not just someone who comes from a certain family or has a certain bloodline. It just increases a pool of choosing a better leader, which makes the chances of you picking a better leader better if there's a process where we vet people and we agree whether or not they are worthy of being called leaders. But you guys, let me know what you think of kings. Do you think they are awesome and we should celebrate them and we should bow in front of them and call them our dads or whatever? It's the whole thing is a little barbaric. I'm not gonna lie to you. At least that's my opinion. If you think the kings are awesome, whatever, I think you are wrong. They are not. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this topic. Comment, like the video, and obviously subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so we talked about kings. We talked about Moneoa, which is one of the biggest stories. But now let's talk about the person who leads the conversation in this country. It's so weird. We live in such somewhere where we live in the matrix. We live in such a weird existence, honestly, to be just frank. I mean, we live in situations where people can gain so much power by just being vile. You know what I mean? Like, the most vile human being on a certain public platform can just amass this fame and money and everything that comes with it, and respect, which is such a weird thing. Like a person being the most vile and the most negative and the most can, they can amass all this popularity and glory, and I think I'm going on and on, but I am talking about a specific thing. I am speaking about Musa Khawula, which is the popular Twitter account. This person is big now, very, very big, because he has become the most vile human being on Twitter, and now we have given him this power. Right? And I've talked about him in the last podcast. If you watched it, please check it out. So as a result, he kind of like, he's like the jury and the executioner at the same time. He decides who gets attacked and who gets cancelled, and I don't think people understand how, like, when we give these people attention, that's the level of power we give them. And the people that we give power to, they do not, the famous quote, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. We literally give idiots power who have no sense of responsibility or no sense of decency and just being a fucking human being, and people will obviously get fed up with that situation, and it happened, right? Musa Khawula was at a popular establishment somewhere in Gauteng, I'm guessing. I don't know, and quite frankly don't care, but he was there and he tweeted that he's there. He was like, yo, I'm at this establishment, holla at me, let's talk, whatever, buy me drinks, whatever. That was the tweet. But then another celebrity, Moshe, his name is Moshe, Moshe Dinky, the guy. I'll put his picture when I talk about this so that you can know who I'm talking about. This guy saw the thing and actually went to the establishment and jumped Musa. So news reports are that, and this was covered in news, guys. Can you imagine, like, Musa is making news 24? Fuck. We are living in such a weird, this is such a weird existence, right? And here I am talking about it, and maybe I am platforming it, but who gives a shit? Because he's a huge account, right? It's not like I'm doing any favors. Maybe me talking about him will get me on, because it seems like that's what people respond to. That's negativity, bullshit. But yeah, it happens. He jumps him, according to Musa's account at least. He jumps him from the back, but Musa said he fought back and what. So there's this interaction, but obviously these are proper establishments. They're not going to allow you guys to fight. They broke them apart. You could see his hair on the floor, and you could see Moshe being separated by the security guards and Musa also being separated. There's a video online, you guys can find it, but it doesn't even show the fight itself, but it shows the interaction, at least the aftermath of the interaction, the immediate aftermath of the interaction. But yeah, Musa got jumped, and I don't know how to feel about that. Should he get jumped? Maybe. Do I give a fuck? Would I cry if he gets jumped? No. Do I think people should go around jumping people? Probably not. But when you are constantly inviting that kind of energy, you shouldn't be surprised when you get it back. I think that's all I want to say on this story. But let me know, guys, what you think of this particular story, and please make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, you comment. I'll read all the comments and interact with you guys on the comment section. It's been your boy Tapelo Miri, and I am out of here.